Today on Stewart-Cox Family News. In a shocking incident, the Department of Veterans Affairs is ending nearly all of its collective bargaining agreements. Donald Trump has gave labor unions just days to get out of federal buildings. Leave thoughts in the comments below. Now let's see the clip.
The United States federal government employs over 2 million civilian workers. They are the engine room of the nation, processing Social Security checks, forecasting hurricanes, ensuring our food is safe to eat. For decades, the nonpartisan civil service has been a bedrock of American stability. But for former President Donald Trump and his allies, this workforce represents something else entirely, a permanent, unaccountable bureaucracy they call the deep state.
We will pass critical reforms making every executive branch employee fireable by the President of the United States. The deep state must and will be brought to heel.
And his primary tool for dismantling that perceived threat? A systematic step-by-step campaign to weaken, disempower, and ultimately decimate the unions that protect federal employees. This is how he's doing it. The first major salvo came in May 2018. President Trump signed 3 executive orders aimed directly at the heart of union power. First, they targeted what's known as official time. That's the federally protected time union representatives can use to address workplace disputes, file grievances for fellow employees, and negotiate contracts, all during the workday. The orders sought to drastically slash it.
Official time is fundamental. Without it, union reps have to do this complex, vital work on their own time, unpaid. It's designed to starve unions of their most precious resource, the time needed to represent their members. If you can't represent your members effectively, why would anyone pay dues?
The orders also made it easier and faster to fire federal workers, shortening the window for employees to improve their performance. And they directed government agencies to renegotiate contracts to be more favorable to management. The message was clear: job security was no longer guaranteed, and the union's ability to protect it was under direct assault. With the executive orders as their guide, Trump-appointed agency heads began taking a hardline stance in contract negotiations. When unions wouldn't agree to management's terms, which often included stripping away existing worker protections, the agencies simply declared an impasse and imposed the contract anyway. At the Department of Education, the agency imposed a contract that limited telework and curbed union rights. At the Social Security Administration, the union was literally evicted from its office spaces. It was a strategy of brute force, designed to show unions they were powerless.
It wasn't a negotiation. It was a dictation. They'd sit across the table, slide a piece of paper over, and say, "This is the new reality." We lost decades of progress in a single year. Our ability to bargain for fair treatment was essentially erased.
But the most audacious step came in the final months of Trump's presidency. In October 2020, he signed an executive order creating a new employee classification, Schedule F. This order would have reclassified tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of federal employees involved in policy-making roles. Scientists, attorneys, managers, economists, all could be converted to Schedule F status.
Schedule F is an existential threat to the concept of a nonpartisan civil service. It's not about removing poor performers. It's about removing anyone perceived as disloyal to the president's personal agenda. These employees would lose all their civil service and union protections overnight. They could be fired without cause and without recourse.
President Biden rescinded the order on his first day in office. But Donald Trump has made it a centerpiece of his 2024 campaign, promising to reinstate it immediately. If he succeeds, it would allow a new administration to hollow out the federal government and replace career experts with political loyalists on a scale never seen before. It wouldn't just weaken the unions, it would make them irrelevant for a huge portion of the workforce. From limiting official time, to imposing contracts, to creating a mechanism for mass firings, the strategy has been methodical. Each step builds on the last, aimed at a single goal: to remove the shield that federal unions provide. Proponents argue these moves are necessary to make government more efficient and accountable to the taxpayer and the elected president. But critics warn that what's being lost is far greater: a professional, experienced civil service that can speak truth to power, regardless of who sits in the Oval Office. The quiet war on federal unions isn't just a labor dispute, It's a battle over the fundamental nature and future of American government itself.